Mrs. Wang. Mrs. Wang.
Mrs. Wang, are you with us?
I am paying attention.
Now, you may only see a pile of receipts, but I see a story. I can see where this story is going. It does not look good.
What's happening?
Evelyn, I'm not your husband. I'm another version of him from another universe. I'm here because we need your help.
Very busy today. No time to help you.
Across the multiverse, I've seen thousands of Evelyns. You can access all of their memories, their emotions, even their skills. There's a great evil spreading throughout the many verses. And you may be our only chance of stopping it.
Don't make me fight you. I am really good.
I don't believe you.
Wow, that was really good.
He's waiting in the wings.
The universe
He speaks of senseless things.
is so much bigger
Script is you and
than you realize.
Of all the places I could be, I just want to be here with you.
Remember our mission concerning the fate of every single world of our infinite multiverse.
There is no way I am the Evelyn you are looking for.
Every rejection, every disappointment has led you here to this moment. Don't let anything distract you from it.
Heyo!
Hi.
Welcome to Movie Humpers. I'm Bob Sham.
And I'm Angela.
The sounds you hear may be dogs. You'll know no fapping sounds or anything like that. We're catching up. This is the last of our...
Yes.
We caught up pretty good. There was some pretty damn good movies in 2020.
There really were.
2022, a good movie. And a good year for movies.
Yes.
Someday they'll make a movie called 2022. It's just about all the movies that came out. And we're finally getting to that one movie by, they want to be called Daniels. You know what other movies Daniels made? Daniels being Daniel Quan and Daniel Scheinert.
Oh, they want to be
Swiss Army Man. Remember that?
I do love Swiss Army Man.
You like it better than this one?
Yes.
Ooh, oh, she did not hesitate. She did not hesitate. Now, this movie won Best Picture. I've scheduled out a lot of our movies, and in February, it is not scheduled because that is intended to be when they announce all the Best Picture winners.
Yeah, anything we might not have seen.
But there's a strike going on, and the Screen Actors Guild went on strike on mid-month. You want it to all be settled and resolved in the best way before the end of the year. But if it doesn't, then we might not get an Academy Awards ceremony if this goes on for a long time.
Well, give the unions what they want.
So, yeah, that's definitely our position here, for sure.
Unions are good.
And there's no promotions or anything. But this movie...
All at once.
You've never seen the show Rick and Morty, right?
No, I've not.
This is like a 2 hour and 50-minute long Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Let me straight off. I think this is a good movie.
Yeah.
I do think this is a good movie. Compared to the other movies that we talked about this month, do I think it's better than any of those from the 2022? I really don't. But there's a lot of stuff in this movie you cannot dismiss, right? One, the acting is good. Michelle Yeoh, we love Michelle Yeoh.
We do love her.
I would have been totally fine if there was about 20% more martial arts in this movie.
I agree. I thought Jamie Lee Curtis was great.
She was good.
Movie.
Quan, who won the Oscar for his category.
Yeah.
He actually did a really
And good
great
for him.
job.
He really did. Yes.
Stephanie Sue, she was fine.
The daughter?
The daughter.
Okay,
She was,
she was
fine.
fine.
And and the technique, the cinematography, there's nothing phoned in about this movie. You can tell that this is a labor of love.
Mm-hmm.
You can't deny that. There must have been, imagine Michelle Yeoh having to wear different costumes in the moments where they're going through other
For it's like
dimensions.
1 second of something. Yeah.
So imagine all that. So that stuff, that takes so much time. There's one part where the daughter, or the alpha alternate version of her, is holding like different weapons, and they're like going, because she can access multiple dimensions, and they're changing like all types of weapons in her hands.
What's this happening that you're doing?
But I'm saying the things would shift in her hands.
Yeah.
And there's parts where she would like click between dimensions.
All of that was so good.
That stuff was
Like,
actually
well done.
That stuff is very creative,
Yeah.
very well shot, very well executed.
Yeah.
My problem here, look, I'm used to stories like this.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a superhero movie, but this definitely is a Best Picture winner in an age where superhero movies make all the money.
Yes.
Because this is a comic book story, and I've
Yeah.
read stories. I love comics and sequential art comic strips, and I've read. If you really immerse in that world, then the themes that they're dealing with are very familiar.
I feel like looking back on this time period, this is going to be coined the multiverse decade or something.
There is a lot of that.
All fucking multiverse. And I get, time travel multiverses, I can kind of get down with the alternate timelines based on people making different decisions, because they do talk about that in this.
Yeah.
But they also posit that if you can imagine it, it is a universe. That doesn't have anything to do with decisions that you made or different things that you followed in your life. So they're trying to have it like multiple ways, which I don't really get why both of those ideas are both so big. Why are they both happening?
When you deal in time travel or alternate realities being, like you said, something that we've been seeing a lot of in our television and film popular culture, the shit gets lofty. You know, it gets a little like, it becomes easier and easier to split hairs on it. I think if we ever move past this and like there's a new tone to movies, a new tone to comedy, like we go into the deep future and like everything is, we've washed off all the who's the fucking guy that made Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Joss Whedon.
We scrub all that Joss Whedon. We scrub all that Rick and Morty off of us. And we look back at this movie from that point. This movie might seem a lot more refreshing from that perspective than it does right now.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's a lofty movie, and maybe it's just because like everything is sci-fi. And I'm genuinely happy for all the players involved in this movie, particularly Michelle Yeoh and Quan. I've absolutely zero complaint about anything that they bring to this performance.
Right.
It's really just the story. And by the end of the story, and it's not that I didn't understand it, but by the end of the story, I was just fucking tired.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Truly.
Let's just be done with this.
Yeah.
Right? And the bagel. The fucking bagel.
Put everything on a bagel.
We have to let this movie be putting to rest all these, like, the Dan Harmon world.
Oh my God, you're right.
It really is. You
Yeah.
can trace all of this shit to like multiple people. There was a time where like these were all the, if you read comics, indie comics or whatever, then I'm reading like stories like this like month after month after month.
I'm sure.
Some are good, some are bad. But this combined with that like this overall tone. Is it impressive how they explain how to affect everything? Because apparently her husband, who in real life is going to divorce her, played by Quan.
Wayman.
His Alpha Universe version taps in, and apparently when he connects to the Michelle Yeoh that we know, she's a mother. She's taking care of her father. Her father lives with them.
Father lives with them, and she runs a laundromat.
And
they have tax trouble.
And they have tax trouble because they keep saying that they can write off like the dumbest shit.
Jamie Lee Curtis is their auditor.
Well, it is kind of accurate that like a more middle class people are more likely to get audited.
Sure.
Because wealthy people tend to have the means to tie shit up in court that would cost way too much money.
That all made a lot of sense.
But still, you know, if you're running a laundromat, you don't have to write off a karaoke machine. So, and it posits that things aren't going well. But it's not like, I don't understand. Okay. When Wayman from Alpha Wayman explains to her why he needs to utilize her like she'll be the one, is because she's like a blank slate, because everyone else in every other universe has accomplished something specifically great.
Yeah, every other her has achievements and she has none.
And right then I'm like, what are you talking
I know.
about?
I hate that. This is the thing I've thought about the most since we stopped watching this movie.
What does that mean? She runs a laundromat business. Her marriage isn't great, but like 50% of all marriages end in a divorce anyway.
Yeah.
She has a daughter that she's her daughter's first generation. They're from Chinese. They speak. The movie goes in and out of Mandarin, which I actually kind of like.
They have very normal familial and societal and cultural issues. Very normal.
If she's a loser, then
everyone watching this movie is.
Most of the people that went to watch this movie is a loser. This is the concept that I can't wrap around. Yeah. Now, I think I understand what they mean. It may be more about the feeling of being a loser. Because
the infinite potential.
The infinite potential, but they literalize the loserness. Mm-hmm. I understand if it's about the feeling, because even if you're not, sometimes it's hard to feel like a loser. And I think the Daniels, Quan and Shiner, I think they were really going for a post-COVID movie in the sense that we went through all that together as a planet, a country, and a lot of us feel very unsure. We're not very confident. The veneer of American exceptionalism in its variety of forms seems to have slipped in a way. Probably not since the 60s have we really seen that veil drop in that way.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are internalizing shit, and we are dealing with our own depression and the things that the aftermath of what all we went through. And I think, to give the Daniels a lot of credit, that is the message of this movie, is that like we're all valuable. I think that was their end message in the end. And I do at a core appreciate that. But you still have to go with the fact that Michelle Yeoh is a loser.
Right. And you're saying that like everyone matters and everyone has the potential to be important and do important things. But there's also the nothing matters message within this, which I do also really appreciate, the concept of like, it's okay if you make a mistake. There's always another chance. I don't know if that's what they were trying to get to. And I guess what they do realize at the end is like, because things don't matter, it's the people in your life that matter.
Yeah.
That is what is important.
And that's a good message.
I'm just talking through this because it feels jumbled.
Well, it is jumbled.
And then it's all tied up in some bow, like, but at the same time, it's not, because you look at them and they're living every life at the same exact time always. Like, that would...
And it seems like this family is also the center of the multiverse. If it's infinitely expanding, but it all has something to do with them. They're all like a variety of their own agents.
But it does really show you when she's okay in every timeline that we see is when she stops and looks at the person in front of her and like appreciates them. That's really what, she's hot dog fingerland.
Yeah.
She like stops and tells Jamie Lee Curtis like, please don't leave me, because they fucking in hot dog fingerland.
There was some funny stuff in this movie.
There was some funny stuff. I do have to say that I did not care for Raccacoonie.
Really? I think we might be divided on Raccacoonie.
I think that I'm the only person in the world who doesn't like Raccacoonie. But let's be real, I didn't love Ratatouille.
So that's your issue.
And, but just the concept is so preposterous to me.
I do recall liking Ratatouille more than you did.
You did. I didn't hate it, but also, like, it's so dumb. Like, pulling on someone's hair is not going to teach them how to cook. Anyway, and then the fact that they made that part of, like, a live action sequence, I get that it's absurd, and I feel like that is them trying to have that levity, right? And
that's the Dan Harmon-ness comedy.
But that's what I'm tired of.
It is.
I didn't give a shit about that.
It is kind of
I was
exhausting.
like, they saw Rocket Raccoon and was like, I want to put a talking little creature in my movie. Not really.
Now, in Ratatouille is also a dish. I make it for it sometimes, a version of it. Mm-hmm. What is the dish of Raccacoonie? Is it raccoon meat and wet garbage?
Just like garbage.
So alternate versions of her husband are trying to get her to counter or stop alternate versions of their daughter, who is fractured, and she has the ability to. She's broken, right? And
she exists in every timeline simultaneously.
And she has the ability to access all timelines, whereas Michelle Yeoh and Quan and all their agents from the Alphaverse, they have to like do these weird things to manipulate probability to connect with their other selves and other universes.
Yeah.
Other universes that might like be good at martial arts or singing or whatever.
Through like some like Bluetooth ear device.
So the weirdest shit you do that makes no sense ups the probability to access your other alternate selves.
And this was something that I had a question about, and I guess they kind of explained it, but I just need to say it out loud. The Alphaverse figured this out, that there's this big bad who's their daughter, and they have to beat her. And they've been trying to find the right person in the timeline. Michelle Yeohs keep getting killed all over the universe. Also, if a lot of Michelle Yeohs have been killed, what about those universes where she doesn't exist anymore? Anyway.
They make it like I've seen you die 1,000
so
times.
Many times.
And I know the multiverse is infinite.
Yeah.
So there's still always going to be some, but like it seems like she shouldn't have that many.
Yeah, and so they have this like home base in the Alphaverse where someone is like doing probabilities on a computer to say like, okay, Wayman, if you do a paper cut between every one of your fingers, you'll all of a sudden know how to do Kung Fu, right? Mm. Or, you do this and you'll all of a sudden know how to be a master archer or whatever.
They're fighting people with dildos and shoving shit up their ass to affect the probability.
Butt plugs, yeah. There is a butt plug scene.
But I heard about the dildo fight scene before we ever saw it.
I didn't know about any of this, except that it was multiverses. But the crazy thing that happens is that, and I guess this is the you're perfect in every other world except this one attitude, is that Michelle Yeoh just goes rogue and she has the earpiece, but she doesn't know what anything's going to do and no one's talking to her. So she's just making up crazy shit, like picking a booger or like, you know what I mean? Like she's making things up.
And it's all about her being audited by this tax office. So that's like the bottom line. And we see Jamie Lee Curtis.
She's in all of her timelines.
Yeah. And she's inhabited by the corrupt timelines. And it's all centered around a bagel, like the alpha daughter who.
I would love for somebody who hasn't seen this to listen to this podcast and try to tell us what this movie is about, because it is so hard to explain. I'm sorry, keep going.
It's hard to explain, but like I get it.
I get it too, but it's hard to explain.
So the rogue daughter who can access all reality, has put everything from the multiverse into a bagel, and everything bagel. Roll my fucking eyes. Every time this bagel showed up, when I felt like I was like, okay, I'm cool with this. And then it goes back to the fucking bagel.
She had that wig.
The MacGuffin bagel.
With the bagel.
Yeah. It was stupid.
It was really stupid.
That was like the quirk shit.
It was not good.
The bagel.
I most liked the Rock universe.
Oh, where they...
I thought that was actually... I've thought about that one a lot. I kind of like that one.
Mm-hmm. A lot of great set designs and costuming throughout the whole movie.
The costumes were brilliant.
Like if this movie won...
The makeup was great.
I don't know what won all the Academy Awards, but all the set design, the costume, and if it won for all that, I totally...
Fair.
I mean, it won the big one, right?
Yeah, totally. But, I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, everyone thinks that the daughter's trying to kill the mother. But she's actually not. She's trying to get the mother to walk into the bagel with her. And essentially, hopefully, she thinks die. Because she doesn't want to live all these consecutive lives at the same time anymore. It's too chaotic. It's making her crazy.
Walk into the fucking bagel then.
She doesn't want to do it alone. She wanted to break Michelle Yeoh's brain also, which she does do. They break her brain so that she is also
all at once.
And she wanted someone to understand her and help her explain it. But if she couldn't explain it, then she wanted them both to die, was my understanding of what's happening. Because walking into the bagel is the only way that she could think to end everything, which makes about as much sense as anything else in this movie.
Yeah.
It was really pretty. They were great. There was great acting.
A crafty movie. A very well crafted movie.
Yeah.
But this story is just the tone, the overall tone of the story, the themes of the story, the overall sci-fi concept of the story is a dead horse. Mm-hmm. The comedic nature of it. This really is like, you know, I mean, ultimately I don't give a fuck what wins the Academy Award. We don't watch that shit anyway. I did plan on us watching it if it happens again this year.
Oh, sure.
So, like, congratulations on winning Best Picture. It doesn't matter what I think it is. It's not like, this isn't as egregious as, like, the non-Cronenberg Crash that won, or the Green Book. Those are...
I mean, we also know it's political, too. It doesn't fucking matter.
I wouldn't say it's, like, on that level of, like, no, not at all.
No, it's fine.
Like, whatever.
It's like Lord of the Rings 3 winning.
Yeah.
It's like that.
And
it's on that par.
And super cool, I think Michelle Yeoh won her Oscar, too.
Deserve it.
And honestly, if you're going to do some makeup Oscars, please go ahead and give Michelle Yeoh an Oscar, like, for sure.
Yeah, Michelle Yeoh was great.
She's been in this business between Hong Kong and the U.S. forever.
I thought that she did a really good job because you felt every kind of way about her character before the movie was over. Like, you really went on that journey with her to figure out how she felt about things. And it was really interesting to... I mean, it's what we've seen it 100 times, but I did think that she did a good job.
When this movie starts, it seems like we're getting some kind of, typical Chinese American mom dealing with her a much more Americanized daughter. Mm-hmm. And, like, that's something that we've seen before in movies. Like, I was kind of prepared for it to be. But then it just went off with that, like, oh, actually, Michelle Yeoh is a loser. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if she's a loser, then I'm like,
right.
I'm less than that. I mean, I don't think, if you judge me fiscally, I ain't got much to show for it.
I mean.
But, like, in terms of mentally, I don't think I am. I think I'm at a better place than I've been in a long time.
Yeah.
But if the concept is we have to accept her as a loser to get to the positive messages in the end, I don't accept that this character is a loser because you've not shown me anything outside of a normal human life. Mm-hmm. Like, what if
with normal struggles?
Show her actually being like a shitty person in which that her daughter actually doesn't want to be around. She's just a typical
stressed
Chinese
out
American mom who wants the best for her family, and she's maybe like a little dry. She maybe is like not very, but like these aren't qualities that are loser qualities. These are just like things she needs to fix.
And she's lost perspective a little bit because she's so stressed out, because she's trying to take care of everyone and everyone's feelings and like respect her father's like cultural boundaries, but also accept her daughter and then like love her husband in the only way she knows how, which is not what he needs. He needs her to like tell him that she loves him.
And we can connect with that struggle and we can relate to that struggle, but that doesn't make you a loser.
Mm-mm. But I do also think that they tried to show that in those other lives, she also wasn't perfect. They did do that.
Yes.
They did show that she didn't always make the right decisions in those other lives. And she gave up things to get the things that she got. Like, in most of it, she gave up Wayman, which meant she gave up her daughter.
Yeah.
In most of those other universes, they were not together. Also posit that Wayman in this world is a big loser, too, when actually he's just a sweetheart.
He just seems like a kind of a nice guy.
Nice fucking guy who wants to be happy. He even says he didn't actually want to divorce her. He just wanted to have a conversation with her. He wanted that to actually be a catalyst for them to figure their shit out.
Kei Quan's voice has not changed since 1985.
Only when he's speaking English.
Yeah.
When he's speaking his not English, any other language.
Yeah,
I'm sure
well,
he
it
can
just
speak.
sounds-
It's
that's
just
his
his
native
like
language.
his English
His English
accent
is all-
because you know people you
it
learn
sounds
in a
exactly
certain
the
way.
same,
He sounds
sure.
so much the same.
He
It's
still
like,
even has the same pitch. Anyway.
ugh. I'm so happy for him. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
there's a really cute story about how, you know, he won and everything, but that, you know, he's been acting this whole time, but has never had any major roles, right? And I guess he was even thinking about quitting, and he had called his agent being like, I just don't know. And they were like, no, you got this movie, and it's going to make a huge difference. But apparently when he got to the Academy Awards, he's on the red carpet. He was taking photos of everyone around him. Like, he was not, he doesn't have that famousness,
So he's
like attitude. He's like a fan there. He like can't believe he's at the Oscars.
So he's an actual real person.
He's a real person.
Right.
Yeah. So extra points for him.
Yeah, not a loser.
Not a loser.
I mean, have her like run down a laundromat. Have her be like a slumlord. Have her like accidentally kill her dad. There are so many things that you can actually literally make her seem like a failure. She didn't fail in any other way that most people don't stumble and fail.
Okay. So is the point that she has to realize that?
Yeah.
And he's putting her in a box because he needs someone who can access all these abilities. And so he's basically looking at her going, oh, you haven't done anything with your life. You're shit. But that's just a stereotype of someone not knowing actually anything about her or what she's doing.
So
it's her rising up to say like, no, I'm not actually.
Yeah.
I do have a lot going for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But the part where she went to, that she got to at the end where it's like, no, we're not losers.
Yeah.
We're just a family that has problems.
Yeah.
I was there way before.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm looking at the TV and I'm like, you're not a loser.
Yeah, no, I know. It just took a really long time for the movie to get on the same page. I don't know.
Like, who's watching this movie and be like, man, she's a real fuck up? It's like, no.
I don't know. And I know people like love this movie.
Well,
like watch this movie over and over again. And I
mean, it's better than the majority of superhero movies.
Yeah, totally.
And it's because it does embody that vibe. It is a comic book movie in terms of tone and story, you know? Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, so, and then the whole Joss Whedon and Dan Harmon of it all. I mean, I won't say these guys have never made anything good. I'm not going to say that. But, like, we've been in your world so long. I personally need something that feels a lot fresher. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the overall tone. Like, you know, the casting is great. But beyond that, I didn't feel like the concepts were very fresh.
Right. Agree.
And that just may be our place in time, you know. If we were in a time capsule, if we were in an underground bunker for 30 years and we came out and this was the first movie we saw, we'd probably be like, oh my God.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It also makes sense with because the tones that I'm talking about also pull from nostalgia so much that there was something that felt kind of 80s and 90s about this movie.
Sure.
But with more modern effects and stuff like that. But didn't you feel like it had an 80s, 90s tone to it? A little bit?
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. I also think it's really, really weird. Like, what if you'd never seen Ratatouille? What if you didn't know what that was?
I hope they didn't. And they think that, like, man, we need to make a movie about this Raccacoonie.
That's not what I mean. I mean people watching the movie.
That they just got
Would
really...
you just, like, be like, what the fuck is this referencing?
I want people to get really into Raccacoonie without knowing anything about Ratatouille. And then someone has to explain to them what Ratatouille is, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's not a rat, it's a raccoon, stupid.
There might be people who do that now.
Well, if that movie gives us that, then maybe it ain't too bad. We hump movies around here.
Hump in the movies.
You're going to hump 1 through 5. I'm going to hump 1 through 5 combined for best out of 10. Just, it's your vote.
I know, dude. It's hard. I'm teetering. I don't know where to go between a 3 and a 3.5. Like, I think it's fine, but I really didn't think it was that great. So I'll just go 3.25 since I can't pick.
All right, you give it 3.25. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Okay.
So that's
6.75.
6.75, bringing us to a B tier.
I feel like this is a very unpopular judgment that we have made upon this movie, but it feels real.
6.75s. I actually do think this is better than all of them. Guardians 3, Scream 6, Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah.
This is the better of all of those.
It is better than Guardians, yes.
But it's not as good as The Naked Gun, which is a 0.25 up above it. So Naked Gun probably should have won
I'm okay with that.
Best Picture of the Year. It came out.
It tickles me sometimes when The Naked Gun is better than something.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Honestly, I will say that the casting and everything and the acting has kept this over a 6. And the well-crafted visuals. You know, it's not a bad movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
But we just don't think it's like, you know, compared to the hype, we think it's a little overcooked, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I really didn't care about the daughter. They didn't make
Me
me
either.
care about her.
Not even a little
And that
bit.
was a mistake because I was like, just walk into the fucking bagel and let's let the movie be over.
We really don't settle in with the daughter herself. We're like looking at the evil alternate broken
Most of the
version
time,
most
yeah.
of the time. Like, yeah, like.
Which I guess arguably she is both.
Sure. Anyway.
all at once.
6.75. Check the show notes for links and other places to find us. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button and maybe subscribe to our channel. Our channel's slowly building and growing. It's coming along very organically. Not fast, but slow and steady. And if you disagree with us, hey,
Tell us.
a few of you have definitely already told me you disagree with us. And hey, keep them coming. Tell us why you enjoyed this movie, or why maybe you think it's even worse than we thought it was. I don't know.
And listen, if you watched this movie and you didn't see RRR, go watch RRR because your mind will be blown. If you
Yeah, that
liked
one's
this
definitely
movie.
over the top in the best way. But it's time to say goodbye.
Death to all traitors.
Death to all traitors.